Dear friend, I'm sitting here in my favorite chair by the window. The sun is setting, painting the sky with streaks of orange and pink, and I can't help but think about time. How it slips through our fingers like sand, no matter how tightly we try to hold on. At 90 years old, I've lived a lot of life. And let me tell you something. Age doesn't bring answers as much as it brings clarity. Clarity about what truly matters, what doesn't, and what you'll wish you had fixed before it was too late. You're over 60, and even if you're not quite there yet, I want to share something important with you today. Something urgent but also gentle, because at this stage of life, there's still so much ahead of you. Even if society tries to whisper otherwise, there's still joy to be found, connections to deepen, and purpose to embrace. But there are also things that need your attention now, or they'll haunt you later. So today, I want to talk to you about one big thing that many people wait too long to fix. Relationships. Not just romantic ones, though those matter deeply. I mean all relationships, the ties that bind us to family, friends, neighbors, even ourselves. These connections are the threads of a life well lived. And if they're frayed or broken, now is the time to mend them. Trust me, regret has a way of settling into those cracks when it's too late to repair them. In this letter, I want to walk you through 5 habits that can breathe new life into your relationships, even after decades have passed. Some of these lessons came easily for me. Others were hard-won, but each one has shaped the person I am today, and I hope they'll help shape your journey moving forward. Before we dive in, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a thumbs up. It helps me share more valuable wisdom for our golden years with others who need it. If you haven't subscribed yet, now's the perfect time. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a single video. Let's start with the first habit. Reaching out. You know, I spent far too many years letting pride get in the way of connection. Oh, how foolish we can be. In my 50s, I had an estranged friendship with a man named Walter. We'd been close once, thick as thieves back in our 30s. But somewhere along the line, misunderstandings piled up, words went unsaid, and silence became easier than confrontation. For years, I told myself he didn't care anymore, that reaching out would seem weak or desperate. But do you know what? A few months ago, I learned that Walter passed away, just like that. A heart attack, sudden and unexpected. Suddenly, all those excuses felt hollow. What could have been resolved with a simple phone call turned into a lifetime of unanswered questions. Did he miss our friendship? Did he forgive me? I'll never know. Here's the truth. Reaching out isn't about being perfect or having everything figured out. It's about showing up, about saying, hey, I've been thinking about you, or I value you more than I've shown. It's never too late to pick up the phone, write a letter, or knock on a door. Even if the response isn't what you hoped for, you'll sleep better knowing you tried. Now, I'm not saying this will always work. Sometimes wounds run deep, and reconciliation takes time, or may never fully happen, but don't let fear stop you from trying. Start small. Maybe it's calling your sibling you haven't spoken to in years, or sending a note to an old friend whose number you lost, or simply telling someone close to you how much they mean to you while you still can. These actions might feel insignificant, but trust me, they ripple outward in ways you can't imagine. The second habit I want to share is listening deeply. Let me tell you a story about my granddaughter, Emily. She's a bright young woman full of dreams and ideas, but for years, I treated her stories like background noise. When she visited, I'd nod along while secretly thinking about other things. My garden, my crossword puzzle, whatever. One day, she looked at me and said, "Grandpa, you're not really hearing me, are you?" Her words hit me like a punch to the gut. How often had I done this? Not just with Emily, but with everyone around me. Listening isn't just waiting for your turn to speak. It's giving someone your full presence, your undivided attention. It's saying, your voice matters, your feelings matter. As we grow older, it's tempting to believe we've heard it all before, that younger generations don't understand, or that their problems aren't as weighty as ours used to be. But here's the thing, every generation faces its own struggles. And whether it's your kids, grandkids, or neighbors, taking the time to truly listen can bridge gaps you didn't realize existed. Try this. Next time someone shares something with you, put down whatever you're doing. Look them in the eye. Ask follow-up questions. Show genuine curiosity. You'll be amazed at how much closer you feel and how much lighter both of you walk away. And that brings us to something else I think you'll find helpful. Forgiveness. Forgiveness. Such a loaded word, isn't it? It's messy, complicated, and sometimes feels downright impossible. But here's the secret. Forgiveness isn't about excusing bad behavior. It's about freeing yourself from the chains of resentment. When I turned 75, I made a decision to forgive two people who had hurt me deeply. One was a business partner who betrayed me, and the other was a family member who said cruel things during a heated argument. For years, I carried that anger like a stone in my pocket, dragging it everywhere I went. But eventually, I realized it wasn't hurting them anymore. It was only weighing me down. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean inviting toxic people back into your life. It means choosing peace over bitterness, release over revenge. Sometimes it happens in conversation. Other times, it's a quiet decision you make within yourself. Either way, it's transformative. Before I wrap up this part of our conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. Relationships are living, breathing things. They require care, effort, and sometimes courage. But they're also where some of life's greatest joys reside. Whether it's rekindling an old bond, mending a broken one, or simply nurturing the connections you already have. The time to act is now. Not tomorrow, not next year. Now. Dear friend, let's pick up where we left off, shall we? I hope my words about reaching out, listening deeply, and forgiving have sparked some reflection. These aren't just ideas, they're lifelines, tools to help you mend what might feel broken or neglected in your relationships. But let me tell you something else that's equally important. Especially as the years stack up, letting go of grudges without losing yourself. Now, this is tricky territory. Letting go doesn't mean surrendering your dignity or pretending everything's fine when it isn't. No. It means finding a way to release the weight of resentment while staying true to who you are. And trust me, I've wrestled with this one more times than I care to admit. Take my brother Joe, for instance. We were inseparable growing up years ago, partners in mischief, confidants through life's ups and downs. But somewhere along the line, money got involved. A bad investment on his part became a burden on mine. And before either of us knew it, our bond was tangled in anger and blame. For nearly 2 decades, we barely spoke. Birthdays passed unacknowledged. Holidays felt hollow without him there. Yet every time I thought about reaching out, pride whispered, he should apologize first. It wasn't until my late 70s that I finally realized how much energy I'd wasted holding onto that grudge. All those years spent replaying arguments in my head, rehearsing speeches I'd never deliver. It was exhausting, so one afternoon, I picked up the phone and called him. My voice trembled as I said, "Joe, I miss you." To my surprise, he sounded relieved. Turns out, he'd been carrying the same heavy load of regret. That call didn't magically erase the past, but it opened the door to healing. We didn't solve everything overnight. In fact, some wounds still linger. But we found a way to move forward together, and that made all the difference. Here's the lesson I want you to take away. Letting go of a grudge doesn't mean excusing harmful behavior or pretending it never happened. What it does mean is choosing to prioritize peace over pain. Sometimes that choice looks like having a difficult conversation. Other times, it's quietly releasing the grip that resentment has on your heart. Either way, it frees you to live lighter, fuller, and more at ease. The next habit I want to share with you is perhaps the most tender of all: embracing vulnerability. Now, I know what you're thinking. Vulnerability sounds soft, weak, even. But let me tell you something. Vulnerability is strength. Pure, raw, undeniable strength. For most of my life, I prided myself on being stoic, self-reliant, the kind of person who could handle anything without batting an eye. Ask anyone who knew me back then, and they'd describe me as steady, dependable, unshakable. But here's the truth. Behind that calm exterior was a man terrified of showing weakness. Afraid that if people saw the cracks in my armor, they'd walk away. Then came Mary, my wife of 53 years. She had a way of seeing right through me, of knowing when something was eating away at my soul. One evening, after a particularly rough day, she sat beside me and said softly, "You don't have to carry it all alone, you know." Her words broke something open inside me. For the first time, I allowed myself to cry. Not because I was sad, but because I was overwhelmed by the sheer relief of not having to pretend anymore. That moment changed everything. Slowly but surely, I began to let others in, to share my fears, my doubts, my joys, and my sorrows. And guess what? The world didn't fall apart. In fact, it grew brighter. Because vulnerability creates connection. It says, "I trust you enough to show you my true self." And that kind of honesty deepens every relationship it touches. So here's my challenge to you. The next time you feel the urge to put on a brave face, pause. Ask yourself, who can I lean on today? Who deserves to see the real me? Whether it's a spouse, a child, a friend, or even a stranger, allow yourself to be seen. You'll be amazed at how much closer it brings you, and how much lighter it makes your heart. Before I finish this letter, there's one more thing I need to tell you. The importance of presence. Not presence, mind you, the act of truly being present. Oh, how easy it is to drift through life half-heartedly, going through the motions without fully engaging. I did it for years, caught up in work, responsibilities, and the endless hustle of everyday life. But now, looking back, I realize how much I missed by not being fully present. Presence isn't just about physical proximity. It's about emotional availability. It's about setting aside distractions and giving someone, or something, your undivided attention. Think about it. How many meals have you shared with loved ones while scrolling through your phone? How many conversations have you nodded through without really hearing? One of the greatest gifts you can give someone is your full presence. Whether it's savoring a quiet cup of coffee with your partner, playing cards with your grandchildren, or simply sitting in silence with a friend, these moments matter. They're the building blocks of memory, the threads that weave us together. And here's the beautiful part. Presence doesn't require grand gestures. It's in the little things. The way you hold someone's gaze, the warmth of your smile, the effort you make to stay engaged. Start small. Put down your phone during dinner. Turn off the TV and ask your loved ones about their day. Be curious. Be attentive. Be there. Because here's the truth. At the end of the day, it's not the big events or milestones that define our lives. It's the ordinary, everyday moments of connection. Those are the treasures we carry with us long after the details fade. Now, before I close this part of our conversation, I want to leave you with this thought. Relationships are the heartbeat of a meaningful life. They're messy, imperfect, and sometimes downright hard. But they're also where joy, love, and purpose reside. Every step you take toward mending, nurturing, and cherishing them is a step toward living well. But there's still one more piece of wisdom I want to share with you. A final insight that ties all of this together. Dear friend, we've covered so much ground together in this letter. Reaching out, listening deeply, forgiving, letting go of grudges, embracing vulnerability, and being fully present. Each of these habits is like a thread in the tapestry of connection, weaving us closer to the people who matter most. But there's one final insight I want to leave you with, one that ties all of these lessons together and gives them purpose. It's about legacy, not what you leave behind, but how you live right now. At 90 years old, I've had plenty of time to think about legacy. What will people remember when I'm gone? Will they recall my achievements, my possessions, the titles I earned, or will they remember something deeper? The way I made them feel, the love I shared, the moments we created together. Here's what I've come to understand. Legacy isn't built at the end of life. It's shaped every single day by the choices we make and the way we treat others. It's not about monuments or accolades. It's about impact, the ripples we create in the lives of those around us. Let me share a story that brought this truth home for me. A few years ago, I received a letter from a woman named Clara. She was the daughter of an old friend, a man I hadn't seen in decades. In her note, she wrote about how her father used to talk about me. Even years after our friendship had faded, he spoke fondly of the times we'd sit on his porch, sharing stories and laughter late into the night. He told her how I'd always listen without judgment, how I encouraged him during tough times, and how those memories stayed with him throughout his life. I didn't realize it then, but those simple acts of kindness meant something profound to him. And now, through Clara's words, they meant something to me too. That's when it hit me. Legacy isn't just about the big things we do. It's about the small, consistent ways we show up for others. It's in the conversations we have, the support we offer, and the joy we bring. These moments may seem ordinary to us, but to someone else, they can be extraordinary. So here's my question to you. How do you want to be remembered? Not by history books or obituaries, but by the people whose lives you touch daily. The family members, friends, neighbors, and strangers who cross your path. If you're over 60, you're likely at a stage where you've already given so much of yourself to the world. You've worked hard, raised families, built careers, and weathered storms. But let me ask you this. Are you still giving in the ways that truly matter? Are you investing in relationships, sharing your wisdom, and leaving pockets of kindness wherever you go? Because here's the thing, it's never too late to start, or to deepen what you've already begun. Even if your body feels slower, your energy less boundless, your opportunities fewer, you still have immense power to shape the world around you. Every smile, every kind word, every moment of patience leaves a mark, and those marks add up over time, creating a legacy far richer than anything money or fame could buy. Now, before I close this letter, I want to circle back to where we started, to the urgency of fixing what needs fixing now. Why am I so insistent on this? Because I've seen what happens when we wait. I've lived it. I've watched friendships fade, apologies go unspoken, and love grow quiet under layers of neglect. And while some wounds can heal later in life, others leave scars that ache forever. But here's the beautiful part. No matter where you are in your journey, you have the power to change course, to reach out, to forgive, to listen, to be vulnerable, to show up fully. You have the power to rewrite the ending of your story, and in doing so, to enrich the stories of those around you. So take a moment today, right now even, and think about the relationships in your life. Who needs to hear from you? Who deserves your attention, your compassion, your presence? Don't wait for the perfect time, because it doesn't exist. Life is messy, unpredictable and fleeting. The best time to act is always now. As I finish writing this letter, I find myself smiling. Smiling because I know how much good you're capable of bringing into the world. Smiling because I believe in you and in the ripple effect of your actions. Whether you're mending an old bond, nurturing a current one, or simply choosing to live with more intention, you're making a difference. And that's worth everything. If this letter spoke to you, I'd be honored if you shared it with someone you care about. Maybe it's a friend who needs encouragement, a child who could benefit from your perspective, or even a stranger who might stumble upon it online. Let's keep these conversations alive. They're too important to keep to ourselves. And if you feel moved to like or subscribe to the Elders' Letters, I'd be grateful. Not for me, but for the sake of keeping this channel going, for the countless others who need to hear these words as much as you did. Until next time, take care of that beautiful soul of yours. Keep loving, keep connecting, and keep living with purpose. After all, the best chapters of your story are still being written with warmth and wisdom. Your elder friend.